What up, Internet? Happy Sunday. Welcome to another game review. I'm going to jump right into it because I have a lot that I want to talk about. This week's game that I covered was Batman Arkham City. Now, for those of you who don't know, Arkham City is a sequel to the smash 2009 hit Batman Arkham Asylum, which I didn't play. Now, long story short, too many things got in the way of me being able to play the game from 2009, from when it came out, to now. I had been trying to borrow it from friends, and they had borrowed it to other friends. Anytime I would try to grab it in a store, they'd be out. So, long story short, I'm really upset that I hadn't been able to play Arkham Asylum, but I got Arkham City the day it came out. Literally, I was there on Monday at midnight, and the next day I started playing, and I played it hard. From the events of Arkham Asylum, the warden there, Quincy Sharp, became mayor, and had suggested this Arkham City initiative, where they wall off part of Gotham City and let all of the people from Blackgate Prison and Arkham Asylum just kind of hang out there and live there. You know, regular stuff. And he puts a man by the name of Hugo Strange in charge. Bruce Wayne objects to all of this Arkham City business and gets captured by Strange. Strange knows that he is Batman. So you have that looming fear of, at any moment, Hugo Strange could tell the world, hey, guess what, Bruce Wayne's Batman. The majority of Batman's rogues gallery can be found in the game, and that's where a lot of the excitement comes from. Needless to say, this game has gotten a lot of critical acclaim from different sorts of people all around the gaming world, and I'm not one of them. I'm not saying that I didn't like the game. A lot of stuff is very enjoyable, the story is pretty good, but as a Batman fan, it really left me wanting more. But not in the good way. So here we go, right into spoiler territory. If you haven't played Arkham City or you want to play Arkham City, I'm going to ruin a lot of this game. So if you want to play it at all, stop watching, go and buy it for God's sakes. Why don't you have it? So one of the big selling points of this game is that you can also play as Catwoman. And I read in a review that if you plug in the Catwoman content, it changes the beginning of the game. So I went, alright, sounds like it could be fun. So I put in the Catwoman code and I start the game, and I really could have done without Catwoman as a playable character. Not to say that her segments weren't fun, but they really came in at the most inconvenient times. Like, the first two came, you know, the beginning of the game, and then maybe a couple of hours in, you go to Catwoman's next chapter. And then there is nothing until the very end where a huge story thing happens. Something huge involving in Batman's storyline happens, and it, like, fades out, and then it fades up in your Catwoman, and I went, no, I don't want to be Catwoman. So the game made me not want to play it, which I definitely think is negative points to a game. A game should never want you to not play it. And I didn't want to play the game. I wanted to keep playing with Batman, and I didn't want to deal with it. And I had plenty of time left in my evening to probably play and beat the game, because I was very near the end, but I'll get to that soon. So in the Batman storyline, you basically go from villain to villain to villain to villain, and beat them. You go from Two-Face to Penguin, and Penguin has, like, Mr. Freeze's gun, and Penguin has Solomon Grundy down below the museum, which I found awesome. But the inclusion of Solomon Grundy made me think that, okay, this Batman universe that Rocksteady Games has created involves more than the Batman universe. And I went, okay, cool, they got Solomon Grundy in here, and it's not all Batman, let's see who else will show up. Then later in the game, very later in the game, you get up to Hugo Strange, and he talks about having friends at the top, and how he got everything to work, how Quincy Sharp became a mayor of Gotham, and then got the whole Arkham City thing, all in Hugo's plan, Hugo and his associates. So it implied that Hugo has higher up friends, you know. And so I thought, you know, okay, who could it be in the Batman universe, that super thing with government? And then I went, wait a minute. Hugo mentions doing the similar thing in Keystone City and Metropolis. Keystone City is where, like, the first and third Flash are from Keystone City. And Metropolis, Superman. So he mentions that Keystone City and Metropolis exist in this Batman world. So when he talks about a higher-up that helped political gain, I go, holy shit, Lex fucking Luthor! Lex fucking Luthor's in this game, Superman's gonna show up, and we're gonna kick some ass, and it's gonna be awesome. Then Ra's al Ghul pops up, and he's like, yeah, it was me, and I just, what? I felt really, like, kicked in the stomach, like, good for Rocksteady for getting the idea out there that they may have plans for another DC superhero game, but they put it in kind of the wrong places for me, because it really put me in the wrong mindset to finish this game. And after I found out that it was Raish, I've been calling him Roz well, not my whole life, but ever since I've been a Batman fan, I've been calling him Roz. So, I mean, you do, okay, going back, very disappointed in that, I'll get to that. So, they introduced this new characterization of Penguin, voiced by Nolan North, who you wouldn't be able to figure out unless you were told. And I had a really big problem with it, because I grew up with Batman the Animated Series, and some of the comics. I was mostly on Batman the Animated Series. But it got me this idea of what Penguin should be. And, like, in The Batman, one of the newest animated series, he was a lot more like this one. And I really didn't like it. Like, the coolest thing was the fact that he had captured Freeze. You never know how. Stole his gun. And, I mean, it makes sense with the Iceberg Lounge and everything. And the Iceberg Lounge, is a really iconic piece when it comes to that animated series Penguin. But, like, he was a petty thug, and it wasn't that great. And it was a very Cockney accent. You could get anybody with a Cockney accent to replace him. And it really wouldn't have made a difference to me. Aside from that, I think that Two-Face's voice actor did well on when he was being, like, Two-Face, but when he was being Harvey, he was like, yeah, I'm a bad guy, and you know that I'm a bad guy. And it kind of got on my nerves a little bit, especially in one of the Catwoman missions. God. Tara Strong taking over for Arlene Sorkin on Harley Quinn was okay. She did a really good job, but there was just something about it. Like, Tara's in a lot of my other favorite cartoons, so it's easy to listen to her and hear, oh, there's Harley, oh, but there's Toot Bronstein, and there's Timmy Turner, and there's fucking Twilight Sparkle. But, I mean, Arlene is Arlene, and Arlene is Harley, and I don't know why she didn't do the game, but she didn't do the game. Aside from that, all of the other voice acting is absolutely fantastic, and I actually recognized a lot of the thug voices as different voice actors, like Fred Tatasciore, I never know how to pronounce his name. Either way, voice acting was great. The characterization of the Joker by Mark Hamill, I'm just going to say it. Mark Hamill's Joker is the best Joker. My favorite personally, and I think one of the best, most rounded, because, okay, he's gotten the most time, but if I hear the Joker in my head, I hear Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill's laugh as the Joker is just so frightening. So the main plot of the Batman storyline is Batman gets infected by the Titan sickness that Joker maintained from the first game after he, got buffed up on all of the Titan. And as a result, they're both dying. So you get Joker in your ear a lot. It's kind of like when you get potatoes in Portal 2. You kind of have that voice in your head, and it's really funny. So that's what leads you to Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze has been working on a cure, but Penguin stole him. But then Mr. Freeze is all like, oh wait, I don't have stable blood that will be able to finish this cure. So Batman goes, Raish Ra's al Ghul. So then you go down into Wonder City, and you beat Roz. Roz goes into the Lazarus Pit and pops out, and he's like, what up, bitches? And you do have a really awesome boss fight. And it was a lot of fun and really crazy and supernatural, and I think it fit as a juxtaposition of the Arkham City darkness background. It was really cool and really stunning, and I really enjoyed it. Then from Roz, you go to Mr. Freeze, and then Mr. Freeze is all like, hey, I got it, but Joker stole my wife, so fuck you. And then you have to beat Mr. Freeze. Joker's got the cure, and he seemingly looks like he's back and better than ever. And after a big fight with him and a bunch of other goons, shit goes crazy, you blow up, and you're left for dead. Now, here's one of the big problems that I had, and it kind of made sense, but right after this, Batman's there, and then a Catwoman mission starts. And it's like, no, I don't want to, especially because it was a stealth mission, so you couldn't just go in and beat people up. And so I turned it off, and I turned it on the next day, and I finished it, and I found out that you can end the game right there. The reason that you're Catwoman is you go in and you try to get your loot. So you grab your loot, and you rush out, and you see that Batman is dying. And you can either go and help him, drop your shit and go and help him, or leave. Just leave. Fuck him. Like, literally, Catwoman says, screw him. And then, I didn't do that, but if you do that, the game ends. It just ends. Batman's dead, and Arkham City is fucked, and Gotham City is fucked, and that makes me really interested to feel that the entire landscape of the game and the world can change if you don't buy this game used. But of course, I went and I helped Batman, but all it was Catwoman going like, hey, wake up, and then she left. That's it. Like, I didn't need to play that in order for Catwoman to just be like, hey, you alright? Cool, okay. I don't feel that it was necessary at all. Oh, I forgot to mention, just before you're left for dead, Talia al Ghul comes out and stops the Joker from killing you. And one of the story, this is a part that really made me go, holy shit, this is going to be crazy, this is going to be ridiculous, happened again. So Talia offers Joker to be the head of the demon, because Ra's is dead, and so he takes out the sword and hands it to Joker, and Joker's got it and is like, well, this could be fun, and walks away. And I was just like, holy shit, like, like, another huge Joker battle, it's gonna be just off the fucking chain, ridiculous, awesome, great, brilliant, woo! There's this big thing called Protocol 10 that Hugo Strange has been bellowing through the radio system of Arkham City, and it's just, what is Protocol 10? What is Protocol 10? What is Protocol 10? And it ends up being a large missile assault and bomb assault on Arkham City, essentially killing as many people as you possibly can. So you end up making it to Wonder Tower, you beat Hugo, find out that it's fucking Ra's al Ghul behind the whole thing, it's like, oh, whatever. And then you find your way back to the Joker. Joker kidnaps Talia, takes her to the Monarch Theater, and you have to get through a field of snipers in order to get to the movie theater. So I reached this, and I played, and I died, and I played, and I died, and I played, and I died, and then I didn't want to play anymore. And I really almost gave up. Because then when I turned on my game again, it said, your data is corrupted. You have to start a new save file. And I went, no game, stop fucking with me. But I restarted my system, and everything worked fine, and huge sigh of relief. It looks like this is going to be a 2-part review, so stay tuned for the next half that is going to come right after this. I'm going to leave an annotation, but I'm running out of time and I still have a lot to talk about. So if you want to see more spoilers and a conclusion part where I'll sum everything up in a non-spoilery way, click on the annotation, click on the Joker, and you will be taken right to part 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there.